Welcome to the Streetport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Raw results as well as WWE main event spoilers for the week of July 30th, 2018. First, birthdays. July 27th, Triple H. He was born 1969. Shannon Moore. He was born 1979. Adam Hangman Page. He was born 1991. July 28th, birthdays. You got Noam Dar. He was born 1993. Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks. He was born 1989. July 20th, Captain Lou Albano. He was born 1933. Big Papa Slump. Scott Steiner turned another year older. He was born 1962. And July 29th, Sonny Ono. Also born 1962. Two deaths this week happened. Nikolai Volkoff, he passed away at the age of 70 of natural causes. And the other is Brian Christopher Lawler, formerly known as Grandmaster Sexay, was arrested earlier this month for DUI and evading police in Tennessee, according to TMZ. About 10 days ago, Lawler, age 46, was reportedly speeding and swerving around 1 a.m. on July 7th. Lawler failed to stop when police tried to pull him over. He was finally stopped. He allegedly reeked of booze and had an open 12-ounce can in his center console. He was immediately arrested and booked for DUI and evading arrest. His bail was set at $40,000. It is Lawler's second arrest this summer, as Lawler was arrested in downtown Memphis on June the 7th after leaving Hampton Inn Hotel without paying. Lawler wrestled for WWE from 1997 to 2001, however was released from the company after he was arrested for possessing illegal drugs when he crossed the Canadian border for a WWE tour. He has had several arrests since then, including public intoxication in 2009 and for another DUI in April of 2013. Since his WWE departure in 2001, Lawler has had several short-lived returns for the company, most recently teaming with Scotty 2 Hotty in a losing effort to the Ascension at NXT Arrival in February 2014. Since the arrest, he was in jail and committed suicide, hung himself, but was living when they got him to the hospital. Later, died after being on life support. They removed him and he deceased. Passed away. My condolences go to the family and friends of Jerry the King Lawler. NBC affiliate in Memphis reported that Hardeman County Sheriff John Doolin had released a statement on the death of Brian Christopher Lawler. Lawler passed away at the age of 46 on Sunday after trying to hang himself in jail the night before. Lawler had been incarcerated since his July 7th arrest for DUI, driving on a revoked license, and evading arrest. Doolin noted that Lawler was placed in a cell by himself because of his notoriety, and that the department had no indication that he was suicidal. Lawler was not on suicide watch. Lawler was given CPR and rushed to the hospital where he later passed, surrounded by family, including his dad, Jerry the King Lawler. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is still investigating the circumstances around Lawler's death. They issued the following statement. At the request of 25th District Attorney General Mark Davidson, TBI special agents are investigating the circumstances surrounding an incident involving an inmate at the Hardeman County Jail. On Saturday evening, Brian C. Lawler, date of birth January 10, 1972, was found hanging in a cell. Correction officers administered CPR until paramedics arrived. Lawler was transported to Regional 1 Medical Center in Memphis, where he died Sunday afternoon. Preliminary information indicated that the incident does not involve foul play. However, the investigation remains active and ongoing. Hulk Hogan was in Miami Monday night, which also happens to be the site of Monday Night Raw. He teased on Twitter that he might invade Raw, as he stated that he was in Miami to film a music video with French DJ Cedric Gervais. He also posted a video teasing stopping by tonight's Raw Monday Night Raw at the American Airlines Arena. Quote, "We've got Monday Night Raw in Miami. I might have to go invade Monday Night Raw," Hogan said, unquote. Hogan said again, quote, "I'll step in, win the world title in Miami Beach. Maybe so, maybe not," unquote. Hogan hasn't publicly appeared for WWE since addressing the locker room backstage at Extreme Rules pay-per-view earlier this month. His last public appearance for the company was at WrestleMania 31 in 2015, where he reformed the NWO with Big Sexy Kevin Nash and Scott Hall to assist Sting in his match against Triple H at the event. And if you didn't know, Scott's other wrestling name was Scott the Gator Hall, his first WCW wrestling persona. WWE terminated their contract with Hogan for 4 months later before a tape containing him making racist remarks was made public. Last week's Raw saw Sasha Banks and Bayley team up to defeat two local enhancement talents, and the names are Samantha Simon and Karen Lundy. The jobbers were played by indie wrestlers Moxie Molly and Jay Lee. SummerSlam's current intercontinental title match is scheduled to see Dolph Ziggler defend his championship against Seth Rollins, but might not stay that way. And you still got 2 or 3 weeks away. It can still change. Dave Meltzer brought up Ziggler and Rollins' upcoming SummerSlam rematch during Wrestling Observer Radio, where he said there was hope that this match could be switched around. He said something may happen during Rollins' match against Drew McIntyre on Raw this week to create movement towards a SummerSlam switch-up. Something may happen in the Rollins match on Raw, Meltzer said, because the Rollins/Ziggler match at SummerSlam, there was some stuff that some people were going. It may be changed. And I asked around that there is at least talk that they do change that match. I don't know if it's a multi-person match. I presume they may not, but I guess that was going around this week with rumors. Meltzer also noted that if we see a change in the Intercontinental title match at SummerSlam, clues in that direction should take place on Raw this week. Ziggler successfully defended his Intercontinental title in the main event of Extreme Rules in an Iron Man match. McIntyre was there to help Ziggler retain that title that night, but the show-off might not have anyone to assist him if McIntyre is booked to fight against him. During a recent interview with Lillian Garcia's Chasing Glory podcast, Ziggler spoke about his partnership with McIntyre and the unique chemistry between them. He said the intention was never to create a tag team, but two wrestlers who could help each other as a single star with the same goal of attaining a top title. He also revealed his vision for the team's eventual separation. Hopefully, in a year, McIntyre will punch me in the face and the arena erupts, Ziggler said. Hopefully, that will be the case. But you never know around here. We're not just a tag team with matching outfits. We're just two dudes who want to be the champ, and we're watching each other's backs. So it's a little bit of a nice twist on just tag teams, you know. Since his WWE release in 2016, 37-year-old Stu Bennett, formerly known as Wade Barrett, has spent much time filling the roles of either commentator or authority figure for various wrestling promotions in the UK. The 2015 King of the Ring tournament winner commented on whether he plans to return to the ring. I'm on a bit of a career sabbatical at the moment. I wrestled for 14 or 15 years. I got a bunch of injuries. I'm tired. I'm getting old. I'm getting gray hair now. I do promise you, Morgan, that at some point, I guess that was the interviewer's name, I will be back in the ring, and maybe that will take place in WOS. We'll have to see. That's his current wrestling company that he's with now. The top name of WOSW is currently Grado. Not much of a talent there, if you know what I mean. If you watched his abilities in Impact Wrestling, also other names including Will Ospreay, Doug Williams, Joe Hendry, who is in Ring of Honor and Impact right now, and Davey Boy Smith Jr. On to more results. Lucha Underground. Last week's episode, Desmond X captured the last ancient Aztec medallion. The worldwide underground continued their feud with the reptiles, and Pentagon Dark successfully defended the Lucha Underground Championship against Cage. On this week's episode, Sammy Guevara has a chance to prove himself against Jake Strong. Mantanda Cueto and has another sacrifice, and we crown a new Gift of God champion. First matchup, Jake Strong versus Sammy Guevara. They started off with Strong latching his arms around Guevara and hitting a German suplex. He kept hold of Guevara and hit another overhead throw that turned Sammy around, so he landed on his face. Comments from Lucha Underground at Lucha El Rey, Strong, hashtag Lucha Underground, and also, let me find out that link, some of the action. Strong landed a splash and Guevara hit a crossbody that sent both of them toppling over the top rope to the ring. The two fought on the outside for a bit, and Sammy started to climb a ladder on the wall of the temple. Strong tried to stop him, but Guevara kicked him into the wall. Once Sammy Guevara got to the top of the ladder, he hit a moonsault from the top of the temple onto Strong. Comments again from Lucha Underground, Lucha El Rey. Sammy makes his presence felt in the temple. Hashtag Lucha Underground at Sammy Guevara. And the link can be found at that. The crowd was chanting, "Please don't die," as Sammy was climbing up. And this is awesome once he landed the move. Guevara rolled Strong into the ring and went for a springboard move, but Strong woke up and grabbed Sammy's leg in midair. Strong then latched on the ankle lock, and Guevara had no choice but to tap out. Winner of the match, Jake Strong. Strong didn't let go after the match and kept the ankle lock on. After a ton of selling from Guevara and twisting from Strong, the former WWE champion snapped Sammy's ankle to leave him laying on the mat with his new injury. Next match, you got Vinny Mancero versus Mantanda Cueto. Antonio Cueto showed up and said he carefully evaluated his roster when he took control, and his first impulse was to fire Mancero. He said since his son kept Vinny around then, there must be true talent there somewhere. Antonio said Vinny's performance at Aztec Warfare, he decided to order him a pizza. Then someone brought out a pizza. It had pineapple on it, and that didn't set too well with him. Then Antonio made Vinny a sacrifice to the gods too. Comments from Lucha El Rey. Lucha life lesson. Don't ever do this. Hashtag Lucha Underground. Hashtag Wednesday Wisdom. And actually, we found out that late. Cueto came out and ruined Vinny's pizza party. Massaro hit a couple of chops and started bouncing off the ropes, and he didn't stop until he blew himself up. As Vinny caught his breath, Mantanda hit a headbutt and a running power slam right on the pizza. Wow, that had to hurt. A burning pizza, but maybe. Winner of the match, Mantanda Cueto. And more comments from Lucha El Rey. Mantanda crushing hope in the temple. Hashtag Lucha Underground. And actually that late. After the match, pizza delivery guy took Vinny's wallet, and then he noticed Mantanda standing there. He offered the wallet to Mantanda, but Cueto just hit a chokeslam on him instead. Gift of the Gods match, Antonio came out and said that they're not having a six-way match, they're having a three-way match. He said they will have a trios match to determine who will go on to compete in the Gift of Gods match. Son of Havoc, Ibelis, and the Mac versus Desmond X, El Dragon Azteca Jr., and King Cuerno. Killshot stood on the entrance and had a sour look on his face during this match. The Mac did pretty well, taking out Cuerno and Azteca. Then King Cuerno stuck around, and the Mac tagged in Son of Havoc. Comments from Lucha El Rey in hashtag Lucha Underground. We love seeing violence in action, but we also like seeing X's agree on things. Action can be seen in this link. Havoc then hit a springboard crossbody for a 2 count as the I Release chant started for the crowd. She took the tag and took Cuerno out with a hurricanrana. And then she sent Desmond X outside as well and took Azteca Jr. down with a scorpion kick. And then she latched a submission hold on him before he fought out. Comments from Lucha El Rey. Fight under why people love Son of Havoc. Hashtag Lucha Underground M-Dog Matt Cross. Hashtag wrestling. Action to be found as that slate. I released and continued to sell as Desmond X. Continued to cut the ring in half and apply damage. He landed several palm strikes before Ivelisse fought back and created separation for herself. The Mac took the tag and he started taking everyone out with tackles. Havoc took the tag as Ivelisse landed a dive from the apron to the floor on Cuerno. The Mac landed a dive on everyone on the outside, leaving Havoc and Desmond in the ring. Comments from Lucha El Rey. Ivelisse's insecurity will make you weak in the knees. Hashtag Lucha Underground. At Real Ivelisse. Hashtag wrestling. And the action can be found at that link. Havoc then knocked Desmond to the floor, and then he landed a big somersault dive on everyone on the floor. Cuerno avoided the shooting star press once everyone returned to the ring and then landed the thrill of the hunt for the win. Winners of the match, King Cuerno, Desmond X, and Dragon Azteca Jr. Mil Muertes shows up and destroys the Mac on the side of the ring. Son of Havoc was about to be next, and Killshot came down and fought Bill off. It was too late for the Mac, though. King Cuerno versus Desmond X versus El Dragon Azteca Jr. for the Good for the Gods match. Cuerno landed a stiff chop to Desmond, placed him on the top rope. Cuerno then hit a Frankensteiner on Desmond. The X turned into a seated pin attempt on Dragon Azteca. X then fought on with King, and Cuerno caught a kick from X2. Desmond hit a drop kick to the back on Cuerno for a 2 count, and then X and Dragon started working. Azteca hit a drop kick for a close 2 count, and Cuerno hit a big boot when X got up. Azteca was sent out of the ring, and Cuerno hit a suicide dive. He moved in the action back into the ring for a splash, and nails a 2 count. Dragon landed a sunset flip roll up pin, but Desmond broke up the pin. Then Desmond started hitting strikes on Azteca in the corner. Desmond then landed a back handspring into a toe kick on Azteca for a close 2 count before Cuerno got back in the ring and locked submission hold on both competitors at the same time. Comments for Lucha El Rey. New school sunset flip. Hashtag Lucha Underground. At Dragon Azteca Jr. Hashtag wrestling. And the action can be found that way. Desmond then hit a European uppercut on Dragon in the corner and landed a Frankensteiner off the top rope. Cuerno ended up outside of the ring, and Dragon went out to join him as Desmond joined the fight outside. Desmond and Azteca closed out each other at the same time as Cuerno ran through both of them with a double clothesline. Dragon took a bump into the announce table and thanks Cuerno, and then King started dragging Desmond away. Comments from Lucha El Rey on their own action. Dang right, we made a gif of that. Hashtag Lucha Underground. At Desmond Xavier. Hashtag wow. Hashtag wrestling. And can be found at that link. Action. Cuerno then lifted X into a fireman's carry, dropped him onto the railing of the temple. Then Cuerno sent Azteca toppling over a row of seats before lifting him up into a fireman's carry as well. Dragon fought out as Desmond appeared on the top of the temple, where he hit a massive dive on both of them. X and rolled Dragon into the ring, but he missed a top rope splash attempt. Dragon started climbing up, but Desmond stopped him. They fought on the top, and Azteca hit a flipping powerbomb off the top for the win. Winner of the match, El Dragon Azteca Jr. Comments from Lucha El Rey. New Gift of God champion at Dragon Azteca Jr. Hashtag you deserve it. Hashtag Lucha Underground. Hashtag wrestling. Hashtag Gift of the Gods. And the action can be found at this link.
You gotta be kidding me.
No, that's right, Jerry. That's my brother commenting. And Marty the Moth Martinez is laying on the floor backstage, and he doesn't look comfortable. Mariposa pours water on his face to wake him up. And she said the Moth needs focus, and he needs to get rid of the strange goals he has. She said Marty doesn't need to try and take Pentagon Dark's teeth. He needs to take his title. They want to bring the Lucha Underground Championship to the Moth Tribe. That entered the results on that Lucha Underground. Okay, now we go on to this week's main event episodes taped Zack Ryder defeated Mike Kanellis. Tyler Breeze defeated Kurt Hawkins. Raw opened up with a graphic in memory of both Hall of Famer Nikolai Volkoff, and also showed a graphic with a memory of Brian Christopher Lawler, Grandmaster Sexay, and can be found at this link if you missed it, as I did. We get a video package starting off the show with the highlights for last week's main event between Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley. The crowd pops as we see Paul Heyman and Universal Champion Brock Lesnar backstage at the American Airlines Arena in Miami. To me, very boring all through the night. All to save for the main event. We go right to the ring. Out comes number one contender Roman Reigns. JoJo does the introductions as Michael Cole welcomes us to the show. He's joined in by Corey Graves and Jonathan Coachman. Reigns enters the ring and the heat picks up. Reigns says he has to give a special shout out to Miami because their energy is always high. He gives Bobby Lashley a shout out for last week. It says he actually respects Bob. Yeah, he said Bob, not Bobby. Which is more than he can say for that fool Brock Lesnar. Reigns goes on about how Brock has more time to show up in UFC to talk trash to Daniel Cormier than he does in WWE, period. He says Lesnar is here tonight, but he will not come out in Reigns' yard and talk trash in his face like he did at UFC. Paul Heyman interrupts and he comes out to the stage with a mic with Brock Lesnar's music hitting as he expected Brock to come out, but he never did. Heyman addresses the ladies, gentlemen, and Reigns. Ladies and gentlemen, and I use that term loosely, my name is Paul Heyman, and the crowd goes with him as he introduces himself. Heyman says his client has sent him to congratulate Reigns for last week's win to become the new number one contender. Heyman goes on about the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Heyman says Reigns should be in a padded cell, not in the main event of SummerSlam. Heyman has a spoiler, not a prediction. Lesnar will beat the big dog at SummerSlam and then go on to UFC to become two-sport champion. Reigns tells Heyman to just shut up because we're here to see Lesnar, not to hear what Heyman has to say. Reigns tells Heyman to bring him out. Heyman announces that his client is here, but he will come out. He will come out when he feels like it, and only if he feels like coming out. Fans are booing now as Heyman tells Reigns not to worry because at SummerSlam, Lesnar will. Reigns interrupts and wonders if Lesnar will ever show up. Reigns says if Lesnar does show up in Brooklyn, he's going to send him back to the UFC, but he's not going back as a beast. He's going back as Roman Reigns is fiat. Heyman looks on angry as Reigns drops the mic and fans pop. Heyman returns to the back as Reigns' music hits. We see Seth Rollins backstage warming up for tonight's battle with Drew McIntyre. And we also see Ronda Rousey backstage talking to Natalya. It will be Natalya versus Alicia Fox later on in the show with Rousey and Alexa Bliss in their corners, their respective corners. Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. And apparently no Mickey James this week. Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin was up next. We're going to ring. Finn Balor is out for the opening match. Go to commercial. Back from the break, Brock Lesnar is backstage reading a magazine all about UFC. Paul Heyman walks in and asks if he just saw what happened. Lesnar asks why would he be watching the show? He doesn't watch the show. Heyman says Lesnar needs to see what Roman Reigns said about him. Heyman pulls out his phone to show Lesnar, but Lesnar throws the phone into the wall and breaks it, and then sits back down. We go back to the ring, and Constable Baron Corbin makes his way out. The bell rings, and they go at it. Going to the corner, Balor gets sent to the floor, but he runs right back in for some brawling. Corbin sends Balor right back to the floor, but he runs back in and throws forearms. Balor keeps Corbin grounded with a side headlock. Corbin fights out and drops Balor with an elbow to the jaw. Balor's lip is busted open as it appears. Corbin takes Balor to the corner and places him on the top turnbuckle. Corbin rocks Balor, but he fights back. Balor nails a missile drop kick, sending Corbin out to the floor for a breather. Balor runs around the ring and drops Corbin with a forearm. Balor brings him back into the ring, but Corbin keeps looking for a comeback. Corbin then decks Balor while he's on the apron. Corbin knocks Balor to the floor with a huge clothesline. Back to commercial. Back for the break. Corbin has turned it around. Corbin keeps Balor grounded in the middle of the ring now. Corbin floors Balor with another big clothesline for a 2 count. Corbin keeps Balor grounded again. Balor gets an opening and nails a drop kick, sending Corbin back out of the ring. Balor comes over to the ropes, but Corbin decks him and drops him on the apron. Fans boo as Corbin stays out for a breather. Corbin then returns to the ring and taunts Balor while he's down. Balor counters and stomps Corbin. Balor takes Corbin to the corner for some more strikes. Corbin overpowers again, but Balor counters. Balor runs into a boot. Balor comes right back with an enziguri, sending Corbin back to the floor. Balor runs the ropes and nails a huge dive, taking Corbin down on the floor. And we go back to a commercial. Back for the break. Corbin has Balor down in the middle of the ring. Balor looks to make a comeback now. Corbin blocks the sling blade. Balor runs the ropes and blocks a chokeslam. Balor drops Corbin for a 2 count. Balor with a sling blade. Balor charges, but Corbin chokeslams him into a backbreaker for a 2 count. Corbin shuts Balor's comeback again, but Balor drops him in the corner. Balor goes to the top for the coup de grace, but has to land on his feet as Corbin moved. Corbin then nails a deep 6 for another 2 count. Corbin nails a splash in the corner. Balor with a drop kick, and he gets ready for another big shot on the floor. Balor charges and sends Corbin into the corner. Balor then brings him back into the ring and drop kicks Corbin into the corner. Balor goes to the top for the coup de grace, but Corbin moves out of the way again. Corbin catches Balor with the end of days for the pinfall. Not much offense, in my opinion, for Baron Corbin. After the match, Baron stood tall to go to replays. Corbin leaves up the ramp about halfway and looks back at Balor. Corbin comes back, enters the ring, but Balor tries to fight. Corbin sends Balor out to the floor and works him over against the barrier. It's a fans move. Corbin raises his arm to the middle in the air and smiles, heading back to the back as officials check on Balor. Paul Heyman's backstage telling a staffer to find a new phone. Raw General Manager Kurt Angle walks up and asks, "What's this about Brock Lesnar not appearing? He must appear as he's contractually obliged." Heyman says his client fulfilled his obligation when he entered the arena. Heyman said this isn't his problem. It's Angle's problem, and if he wants to talk more about it, go to Lesnar's locker room himself. Angle says no, this is Heyman's problem, not his. Angle threatens to terminate Heyman's contract if Lesnar doesn't come to the ring tonight. Really? Really? Are you serious? I'm dead serious, Heyman huffs and puffs. Like the Three Little Pigs story with the big bad wolf, and just walks away. Still to come, a look back at last week's Evolution announcement. We go to commercial. Back from the break, announcers thank the WWE Universe for 30 million YouTube subscribers. They lead us to a replay of last week's WWE Evolution announcement. Alicia Fox is backstage warming up when Alexa Bliss approaches. Bliss says she's picked Fox to face Natalya tonight because her best friend Mickie James is injured this week. Bliss says Ronda Rousey will be in Natalya's corner tonight, but she will take care of her. Not to worry. Bliss also mentions the Evolution pay-per-view and gives props to Fox as a trailblazer, saying Evolution could be where she cements her legacy. Fox assures Bliss that she will hurt Natalya tonight. The match is up next, Natalya versus Alicia. And I fell asleep during this match, missed it entirely. We go to the ring, out comes Natalya. She stops on the stage, awaits for Ronda to join her. Rousey comes out to a pop from her storyline suspicion. Rousey and Natalya head to the ring together as we go back to commercial. Back from the commercial, out comes Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss. She stops on the stage and waits for Alicia to join her before they head to the ring. The bell rings and they lock up. Natalya takes Fox to the mat, but Fox turns it around. They'll get back to their feet and face off. Natalya drops Fox with a shoulder, runs the ropes. Natalya rolls Fox up for a 2 count. Natalya runs into an elbow in the corner. Fox goes to the top and brings Natalya down with a roll up for a 2 count. Natalya goes for a sharpshooter, but Fox grabs the bottom rope right in front of Bliss. Referee warns Bliss. Fox ends up trapping Natalia in the apron, cover and beating her up. Fox brings her back to the ring but can't get the win as Natalia turned it around again. For keeps, Natalia grounded as Bliss smiles and looks on. Fox works Natalia over for a few minutes, taunting Rousey. Fox with a double stretch, turning that into another submission. Natalia overpowers and tosses Fox to the mat. Fox comes right back and drops Natalia, and Bliss talks trash from the outside. Natalia looks to make another comeback. Now as Fox drops Fox on her face. Natalia comes back with a basement drop kick and discus clothesline for a 2 count. Fox ends up hitting a crossbody for another 2 count. Fox then with a Northern Light suplex for a 2 count. Fox tries to kick Rousey from the ring, but the referee comes over. Bliss takes advantage of the distraction and hits Natalia from behind through the ropes. Fox comes over and nails a big kick for the pin. Now you know the X kick, my guess. So Alicia Fox wins the match. After the match, Rousey chases Bliss into the ring and slams her. Rousey goes for the armbar, but Fox runs back in and makes a save. Bliss retreats while Rousey drives Fox into the mat. Bliss tries to run around the ring, but Rousey exits the ring and chases her, stopping her from jumping over the barrier. Fox comes right from behind and drops Rousey as she approaches Bliss. Fox then launches Rousey into the barrier a few times. Fans boo as Bliss and Fox head up the ramp together. Rousey rolls back into the ring to check on Natalia. Rousey is fuming as she stands up and stares down Bliss. Fans chant Rousey's name. We go backstage to Heyman and Lesnar again. Heyman suggests Lesnar go to the ring tonight for the t-shirt sales and added value to his SummerSlam appearance because of the increase in WWE Network subscriptions. Heyman says Lesnar will also be able to brag about going to UFC to become a dual champion. Heyman says he was out there earlier and the love for Lesnar was huge. Heyman says Miami will give Lesnar a huge welcome if he just goes out there. Lesnar says he does not give a crap about the WWE Universe. He doesn't give a crap if he's here tonight because he'd rather be at home on his own couch. Lesnar tells Heyman to do something useful, like get him a steak, meet him well with a baked potato and steamed broccoli. Lesnar, not knowing Heyman's job is on the line because he doesn't watch the show, tells Heyman to get out of here and beat it. Heyman hurries off. Still to come, Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins and the Riot Squad versus Sasha Banks and Bayley, also Jinder Mahal versus Braun Strowman. Elias was out with his guitar, back to commercial. Back from the break, Ronda Rousey is backstage with Natalya and Kurt Angle. Rousey says she's tired of Alexa. She doesn't want to wait until SummerSlam. Angle comes in and announces Rousey's first Raw singles match for next week in Jacksonville, Florida, against Fox. Rousey thanks him and says she's glad to be back from suspension. We go to the ring and Elias is playing his guitar with a spotlight. Elias brags about the success of his new album, saying it beat out Panic at the Disco and Post Malone, among others. Elias brings up Bobby Lashley and takes shots at Miami. Elias knocks Miami for praising The Rock. Fans chant Rocky now. Elias says The Rock wants none of him. Elias starts playing some more, but he's interrupted by Lashley's music. I think The Rock did mention he wants a match at WrestleMania this coming year, but we'll wait for that to happen. Lashley hits the ring and Elias asks him why he's out here. Lashley says he's a big fan and figured he'd come out and hear what Elias had to say after he heard his name mentioned. Elias says he could see right through Lashley and he wants to sing with Elias. Not only walk with Elias, Lashley says he doesn't sing, he fights, but Elias insists, asking the fans what they think. Elias begins the performance but stops and decks Lashley. Elias talks of trash, but Lashley comes back and sends him retreating. Lashley stands tall and looks on from the ring as his music hits. Kevin Owens approaches Baron Corbin backstage and congratulates him on knocking the smile off Finn Balor's face. Owens keeps sucking up to Corbin and wants to make sure he has a chance to win Braun Strowman's Money in the Bank briefcase at SummerSlam before Braun catches it in, but Corbin isn't interested in helping him, saying the contract is Braun's until SummerSlam, and he should talk to Kurt Angle as Corbin walks off. We see last week's angle between Strowman and Jinder Mahal. Braun versus Jinder will take place tonight as we go to the commercial. After the commercial, we get Braun Strowman versus Jinder Mahal as Mr. Money in the Bank comes out first. Fan chant, get these hands as Braun stands tall in the ring. Jinder Mahal is out next with Sunil Singh. The bell rings and they lock up. Braun overpowers and shoves Jinder back into the corner. Jinder stands up and looks terrified as Braun stares him down. Kevin Owens suddenly appears at ringside as he's got Braun's briefcase. Jinder tries to come up from behind, but Braun turns and floors him. Braun goes to the outside of the ring and faces off with Owens. Owens tosses him with the briefcase. Braun chases Owens around the ring. Owens tosses the case to Singh. Braun runs over Singh with a shoulder block and keeps running, but stops to pick up the case. Braun chases Owens up the ramp, and Owens runs to the back, and Braun gets counted out. Winner of the match by count out, Jinder Mahal. After the match, Braun marches back to the ring, and Jinder retreats. The angry Braun stands tall with the briefcase as the Get These Hands start back up for the crowd. Barret Corbin's backstage with Kurt Angle as Sunil Singh, but Sunil Singh was left again in the ring, and he gets the Alabama Slam for his appreciation. Well, backstage, Barret Corbin with Kurt Angle. Corbin hands him a phone, and Raw Commissioner Stephanie McMahon supposedly is on the phone. Angle says he doesn't think Stephanie's idea is a good one because the fans will be disappointed, and they need to protect the main event. Angle tells Stephanie to enjoy the rest of the show. Still to come segment, Banks and Bayley versus the Riot Squad. Back to commercial. Mike Kanellis, The Ascension, Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, Rhino, and Heath Slater all backstage in the locker room doing nothing, actually. Mojo Rawley walks in and says he knows they have been watching. What he's doing. He's not behind the keyboard. He's right here. He talks about recent beatings he's given to No Way Jose and Tyler Breeze. Mojo gets in Ryder's face, but Bobby Roode is walking in, mocking him. Roode asks Mojo if he has a problem with him. Mojo asks, what if he does? Is Roode going to catchphrase him into submission? Roode attacks and then starts brawling until also some of the superstars separate him. Actually, the road agents are separating as the wrestlers are just watching. Apollo Crews versus Akam. We go to the ring. Out comes Titus Worldwide. All three members, Apollo Crews, Dana Brooke, and Titus O'Neil. Authors of Pain were out next. Akam and Will Brother. We get a sidebar video recorded from earlier with Authors of Pain sending a warning to Titus Worldwide and the rest of the locker room. Akam says he will slam Apollo's book shut tonight. The bell rings and Akam takes Crews to the mat with a double leg takedown. Akam with a big overhead throw. Akam talks some trash while keeping control, tossing Crews across the ring in front of Titus and Dana. Akam works Crews over on the mat now and keeps him grounded. Fans try to rally for Crews while he's down in the middle of the ring. Crews gets a brief opening, but Akam scoops him. Crews fights out and delivers two big kicks. Crews bounces off the ropes and hits a big boot to the head. Crews takes Akam down and kicks up for a pop. Crews then nails a big insecurity to bring Akam back down. Crews hits a standing moonsault for a close 2 count. Akam then overpowers, but misses the shoulder in the corner as Crews takes advantage of that and rolls Akam up for the win. After the match, Titus Worldwide heads up the ramp as Razor joins Akam in the ring. Titus points at the ring, and it sounds like he will be facing Razor soon. And we see Drew McIntyre backstage warming up on his little bungee cord. Stretches. Like he's really doing some exercising. Anyways, I'd rather watch grass grow. As he set up to face off against Seth Rollins, Wild Dog Ziggler talks him up, and we go to commercial. Next up, we got Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins. Back for the break. Out comes Seth Rollins to a pop. Drew McIntyre was out next with the Intercontinental Champion, Dolph Ziggler. The bell rings and Drew takes it to the corner, unloading on Rollins. More back and forth to start. Drew hits a big suplex and goes to the floor, raising the apron until Rollins kicks him. Rollins runs the ropes for a suicide dive, but Drew catches him and rams him into the barrier with a modified spine buster. With the ring frame still exposed, goes under the ring as the ring apron is pulled up on top. And you can see the exposed carpet padding and not the regular foam that they normally use. Drew positions Rollins under the steel frame, catapults his throat into the bottom of it. And we go to commercial with Drew standing over Rollins. Back for the break, Rollins has made a comeback. Rollins nails a suicide dive, sending Drew into the barrier. Rollins with another dive, dropping Drew on the outside. Rollins sends shoulder first into the ring frame again. Rollins brings it back to the ring as Ziggler looks on. Rollins with a shot in the corner. Drew blocks a suplex. Rollins counters a move and ends up hitting a Falcon Arrow for a close 2 count. Rollins cranks up the band for the stomp as the fans do the burn it down chant. Drew comes over, but Rollins kicks at him. Drew keeps fighting and plants Rollins with a spine buster for 2 count. More counters between the two. Rollins drops Drew and goes to the top. Drew climbs up and cuts Rollins off. Drew positions Rollins on his back and slams him to the mat for another 2 count. Fan chant, this is awesome, as Drew waits for Rollins to get up. Rollins slides out of another move and rolls Drew up for a 2 count. Rollins then nails the stomp, but Ziggler hits the ring as he's going for just before the 3 count, and the ref calls for disqualification. After the match, Ziggler keeps the attack going and talks some trash. Rollins quickly counters and tangles with Ziggler. Clotheslining him to the floor. Rollins runs the ropes and nails a big dive to Ziggler. Rollins smiles from the ramp as JoJo announces him the winner. Drew looks on from the ring and he's not happy as Rollins' music hits. Coleslaw shows us a replay of the opening segment with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. We also see Kurt Angle threatening to fire Heyman if his client doesn't come to the ring tonight. And the intense backstage segment between Heyman and Brock Lesnar. Cameras cut backstage to Reigns in his locker room. Angle walks in with Baron Corbin and says Raw Commissioner Stephanie McMahon has asked him to remove Reigns from the building due to Lesnar coming out tonight. Reigns asks where Stephanie is. Angle says Reigns is in jeopardy of losing his SummerSlam title shot if he doesn't. Reigns says this has got to stop. Reigns goes on and says Angle is a dog, an Olympian, and he's not a yes man. Corbin calls for the police officers to step in, and Reigns asks if this was really necessary. Reigns walks out on his own, but stops and drops Corbin with a big. He comes right back and just slaps him. And he goes down holding his chin on Corbin. Angle just shakes his head as Reigns is escorted out away by the police. Back to commercial. Back from the commercial, we get Brian Kendrick versus Cruiserweight Champion Cedric Alexander in a non-title match announced for 205 Live. Being on Tuesday night. Announcer sent us to a Charlie Caruso in the ring. She introduces Raw Tag Team Champions, the B Team, and out come Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Still celebrating, we see how they retained over Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt last week. Kathy mentions their 7-0 winning streak and asks about their newfound success. Bo goes on about ranting about how this is real. He almost brought out, and you could just believe, like his old segment, but he never did. Axel says most people are living their dreams, but the B Team is dreaming to live. Yes, Charlie asks about Hardy and Wyatt. They call the former champions sore losers and want them to come out because the B Team can't beat anyone. The lights go out, the lights come back on, and Hardy and Wyatt standing right behind them. Charlie steps out as the two teams face off. Some fans do the delete chant. Matt says the B Team's success is a cosmic anomaly. He goes on and Wyatt chimes in next, saying B Team's dreams aren't real and mean nothing. They can't be touched. But nightmares? Those are real. Wyatt says they are the B Team's nightmare, manifesting. Wyatt says they will haunt the B Team until they are finally deleted. And the delete chant starts up for the crowd, and the music interrupts. And out comes the Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. Dash and Dawson knock the B Team and brag on beating Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley. The biggest two superstars in WWE as their singles wrestlers, not a tag team. Well, the Revival wants Wyatt and Hardy to step aside so a couple of real top guys can handle business and get the job done. Bo says the B Team will be more than happy to step aside. Bo looks like the attack looks like he attacks, but the Revival fights back. B team retreats as they both try to do clotheslines. As Dallas moves out of the way and the guy hits Bray Wyatt with a clothesline. And they go at it with the leaders of the world. Wyatt and Hardy send the Revival out of the ring as the B team looks on from the top of the ramp. And they go to the announce table. Match music hits as we go to commercial. The Revival versus Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. The leaders of the world. Back from the break, the match is underway with the B team on commentary. Matt goes out with Dash. Wyatt comes in for a double team. Dawson ends up coming in and turning around on Wyatt. Matt tags back in and goes back and forth with Dash. Matt gets an opening with a jawbreaker to Dash. Dawson runs in before Matt can make a tag. Dawson with a few shots, but Matt hits a side effect. Wyatt and Dash tag at the same time. Wyatt takes it to the corner and drops Dawson on the apron as he charges. Wyatt splashes Dash in the corner and then launches himself at the middle of the ring. Wyatt poses and plays to the crowd. Dawson comes off the top, but Wyatt catches him. Dash comes from behind, but Wyatt avoids the double team. Wyatt looks to chokeslam Dash, but Dawson drops him. Matt then runs in and takes Dawson to the floor. Just throws him out to the floor. Dawson rams Matt back into the barrier a few times. Matt goes back to the ring apron for a tag. Dash with a knee to Wyatt in the ring. Wyatt drops Dash. Wyatt goes for the side rail, but Dash gets in a fistful of hair. Dawson tags in and they catch Wyatt with a shatter machine for the win. After the match, Revival stand tall as the music hits. B team stands up at the announce table and taunts them. Renee Young is backstage with Seth Rollins. She congratulates him on the win and says it must be frustrating dealing with two superstars. Rollins says it does, but they need to know that there is no quitting in him, and there's nothing he won't do to get the title back at SummerSlam. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre suddenly attack Rollins from behind and beat him down. They destroy him and stand over him backstage before the officials come in to check on Rollins and they leave. Riot Squad versus Sasha Banks and Bayley. What's up next? We go to the ring. Out comes Riot Squad. Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. Ruby Riott still away, recovering from her knee injury. Logan and Morgan hit the ring as we go back to commercial. Back from the break, Riot Squad waits as Sasha Banks makes her way out first. Bayley is out next as they head to the ring together. Banks and Bayley are wearing matching gear. Coleshaw says they are now using a new name for their team, the Boston Hug Connection. I never heard that announcement. The announcers go over to SummerSlam card as Bayley and Banks wrap their entrance up. Bayley starts off with Logan. Logan slams her to the mat and looks down at her. Logan grabs Bayley's arm and ragdolls her down next. Banks gets a tag for a quick double team. Banks then delivers a thrash press and works Logan over, but can't get the pinfall. Banks with a quick arm lock. Banks with more offense and a drop kick for a 2 count. As Liv talks trash from the floor, Banks then takes Logan to the corner and Bayley tags in for a roll up. Logan kicks out at 2. Logan charges in the corner, but Bayley drops her face into the top turnbuckle. Banks tags in with a running knee in the corner. Banks with a forearm to send Logan into the ring post. Liv comes back over to check on Logan while she's down on the apron, but Banks yells at her as we go to commercial. Back for the break, and Logan is in control of Banks. Logan rams Banks back into the corner, and then comes Liv with some double teaming. Liv plants Banks face first into the mat and covers her for a 2 count. Liv keeps Banks grounded, screaming out. Banks tries to make the tag, but can't get it. Banks then drops Liv, and then comes Bayley off of a hot tag. Bayley drops Liv over the second rope and takes her down with more offense. Bayley with a big knee to the head. Bayley knocks Logan off the apron. Bayley with a shoulder to the gut of Liv in the corner. Bayley with more offense until Liv gets her knees up in the corner. Liv goes to the second rope, but Bayley rocks her. Bayley climbs up and tags in Banks. As Bayley brings Liv to the mat with a hurricanrana as Banks climbs to the top. Banks with a double knees from the top, but Logan breaks up the pin just in time. Bayley tosses Logan to the floor. Liv drops Banks, but knocks her back into a tag. Banks hits the backstabber, and Bayley immediately nails Bayley to belly. Suplex for the win. Pinfall. a blind tag, in other words. After the match, Banks and Bayley celebrate as the music hits.
Paul Heyman interrupts Brock Lesnar reading his magazine, UFC magazine, again backstage. Heyman has another proposal. As the show is almost over, they make an appearance, take a bow, goodbye, and hello, Miami. Then they will be at a steakhouse enjoying themselves. Heyman says nothing can go wrong because Roman Reigns has been escorted out of the building. Lesnar asks Heyman if he got his money. Heyman says yes, he did get paid because Lesnar showed up to fulfill his contractual obligations. Heyman thanks Lesnar for keeping him signed to a contract for all these years, but he also has a WWE contract that allows him to work for Lesnar. Heyman goes on and brags and begs Lesnar to go out to the ring for him. If anything, because they are friends, Lesnar stands up and suddenly grabs Heyman by his collar and warns him to get one thing clear. They are not friends. Heyman works for him. Lesnar asks how long Heyman has been leeching off of him. Lesnar orders Heyman to get out there and do his job. A terrified Heyman says, okay, and walks off. Back to commercial. Back for the break, Mojo Rawley versus Bobby Roode is announced for next week's Raw. We got a ring for tonight's main event segment as Raw General Manager Kurt Angle comes out with Constable Baron Corbin. Angle takes a mic and tells Heyman to bring Brock Lesnar out, or this will be Heyman's last night on Raw. A somber Heyman comes walking out and gives his usual introduction without any enthusiasm. Some fans boo him, singing, na 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 na, na 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 na, hey, 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 goodbye, to Heyman as he enters the ring. Heyman then says Lesnar is not coming out here tonight. Angle gets upset and then says a real champion shows up, defends his title at all costs, goes the extra mile for the fans, does things for charities and communities, but Lesnar does none of that. Angle says Lesnar has to be the worst Universal Champion of all time. A yes chant sounds up for the crowd. Heyman says he is not going to argue with Angle because, yes, Lesnar is the worst Universal Champion of all time. And I'm saying, along with some of the fans I'm hearing, strip him of the title a couple of times. Heyman says he tried to rehabilitate and mold Lesnar from a UFC fighter to a WWE entertainer, but he didn't listen because he doesn't listen to anyone or respect anyone. Heyman is losing his mind here. Angle looks at him like he's crazy and says Heyman is full of crap. Heyman tells Angle to do something to Brock, not him, because he tried all night. Heyman starts kissing up to Angle now and begging and grabbing on his leg, says he would like to have a better working relationship with Angle. Angle announces that Heyman's contract is now terminated. Angle says Heyman is done. Heyman begs Angle from his knees again. The music suddenly hits and out comes the Universal Champion, smiling. Lesnar marches to the ring and circles it before entering. Heyman laughs and smiles as he thinks he's clear. But Lesnar places the title over his shoulder. As he comes into the ring, Heyman raises the title as some fans boo. Lesnar looks over at Corbin and then Angle, taking the mic. Lesnar asks Angle if he has a problem with him. He has the same to Corbin. Lesnar scoops Angle, drops him with a F5 out of nowhere. Corbin looks on and slowly steps through the ropes, making his exit from the ring. Heyman looks down at Angle and laughs at him. Heyman hands the title to Lesnar, and Lesnar throws it over his shoulder again. They both look down at Angle and laugh. Lesnar suddenly grabs Heyman by his mouth. Heyman says Brock is hurting him and he can't breathe. Lesnar tells Heyman to look at Angle. Lesnar presses Heyman to the mat and puts a knee on him. Bad to dueling chance for Roman Reigns. Lesnar lets off of Heyman and grabs his title. Standing tall as the music plays, Heyman recovers on the mat while Angle is still laid out. Lesnar then marches up the ramp and looks back at the ring before going back as Raw goes off the air. After the TV taping stopped, dark segment on this week Raw in Miami saw Baron Corbin call Roman Reigns out to the ring for a fight, but instead Finn Balor came out instead. Drew McIntyre and Intercontinental Champion Dolph Ziggler both came out, but Seth Rollins evened up the odds. So we got Rollins and Balor teaming up to take out the heels and send the crowd home happy packing. during the show. And that concludes my Raw and WWE main event results for this week. Thanks again. Peace out. See you while I'm here. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters.